We are back on Inside Politics. Our guest today is Nashville Congressman Jim Cooper. Congressman, we see this situation in Washington right now where people standing for re-election, but we see members being threatened every week, virtually and perhaps some cases in person. They try to go armed on the floor. We have repeated efforts to strip some members of their committee assignments. The House even took the rare move this past week of holding a former member in criminal contempt. It's been a difficult for you this year for you personally. You lost your spouse. So given all the workplace situations you have to deal with every day, why do you want to run for Congress? You and your staff had to run for your lives and shelter yourself in place back last January 6th.
Well, Pat, if it were an easy job, anybody could do it. This is a hard job, and I'm thankful to be so blessed that I've been able to do it, and I think do it relatively well. But that's up to the judgment of Tennesseans to decide on that. But they've rewarded me and with a record number of re-elects, and they seem to appreciate the work I try to do, because everybody who knows me know that I'm a civil person. I do my best not to get angry. My mother and father taught me that in different ways. It's very important to stay calm and focus on the business of helping people. If we all just do that and stop all this grandstanding, we'll be better off.
But you don't even know what district you're running in. I mean, you have opponents in both your primary and general election set to go, but they don't know what district they're running in either, as the General Assembly tries to figure out what they're going to do. They could be running against you. They could be running against one of the other surrounding GOP congressmen around here. Have you ever seen such a bizarre situation? Because we're less than a year away from the November election.
Well, anybody who's talking now about the election in 2022 really doesn't know what they're talking about, because nobody knows where the districts are going to be. Many people are assuming falsely that the Nashville district is going to be kept intact, and I hope that's true. I've been fighting hard to keep Nashville whole. But
so you think your chances of that are slim and none, is that right?
Well, it's looking like Republicans in other states have been savage in the way they've redistricted. I'm hoping and praying they won't be savage here, but it could destroy Nashville's momentum. And it's not about me. It's about keeping this most dynamic, most wonderful city whole, because if you dismember it, then we're all in trouble.
I've heard speculation this week that perhaps in addition to dividing up Davidson County, they might divide it up in such a way that there's a part of the district that doesn't have an incumbent. Are you hearing that?
Who knows what they're going to come up with, but even though they've had a fake transparent process, we are not part of that back room where they decide what's going on. And a worrisome sign is never has the congressional delegation, and you know it's mainly Republican, it's 7 Republicans, 2 Democrats. The Republicans are being kept in the dark. They don't know what's going on, and I've been through 4 redistricting cycles before. This is the first time they've shown such disrespect for the incumbents.
You're not required under the rules of Congress to live in the district you represent. If there's a vacant district inside what's now the 5th district, might you look to run there rather than have to run against another incumbent?
Well, regardless of what the law requires, I think voters will be tolerant if you get gerrymandered and they take your house and put it a block away from where the district is. And they're liable to do that because computers are so good right now. You can chop up neighborhoods, chop up houses. You could even chop up double beds if you wanted to. And the mischief in the legislature is unlimited.
There's speculation that former Tennessee House Speaker Beth Harwell, who I think now is still a member of the TVA Board of Governors, she's reportedly interested. She ran an op-ed piece on a federal issue in the Tennessean recently. What would you think about running against Beth Harwell? Your houses, depending on how the computer draws it, are not that far apart, and there would be some irony there, right? I mean, she's the one that probably kept Republicans from dividing up Davidson County in 2010 or 2011 when she was the Speaker.
Beth is a wonderful person. She was a great Speaker of the Tennessee General Assembly. She knows how important it is to keep Nashville whole, and I hope and pray she's doing all she can right now to keep Nashville whole, because it would be a humiliation for our city if we were to be chopped up.
A couple of questions as we close. I've seen a story raising questions about your holdings in GE stock, General Electric stock. It's a defense contractor. You're on the Armed Services Committee, which oversees defense contractors to some extent. Is that a conflict?
I bought that stock in the 1990s. I've frozen my portfolio since I got elected to Congress. So I bought that stock before I even knew I was going to be back in Congress, much less be on the Armed Services Committee.
You recently said during a committee hearing that China is developing its capabilities in space at twice the rate that the U.S. is. What does that mean? Should we be concerned that we're in danger of falling behind China in what appears to be a very critical area?
Yes, and that's why I helped found the Space Force, which is helping our Pentagon respond more forcefully to the Chinese and the Russian threats.
But you also said in another committee hearing that you told the people that are the head of Space Force to step up their game. You may have created it, but is it not living up to your expectations?
It's only 2 years old, so they're having growing up pains, but they need to hustle.
Are they still learning how to walk?
They are.
You said they're spending more time worrying about what their uniforms look like than doing their job.
And they want to move a headquarters. It's about beating the Chinese and other potential adversaries. It's not about headquarters and uniforms.
Congressman, is 2022 going to be a better year than what we've seen for the last 2 years? Because most people are happy to see these years go away.
Well, no one knows what COVID's going to do, but as Warren Buffett has said and others, never bet against America. We are the greatest country on earth. We're going to keep it that way.
Congressman, thank you so much for being on the program, and good luck to you in the coming year.
Thank you, Pat.
And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, you can go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's new commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you here next time. Goodbye.